Hello and welcome to the International Pentagon Challenge. My name is Kyanite and together we'll be embarking on a very special Football Manager journey where we'll aim to try and win every major international competition in all 5 continents, forcing our hand to play with hundreds of different types of players and most importantly hopefully create loads of awesome different types of tactics along the way. Once that's complete, only then are we allowed to set our sights on the biggest of all goals, the FIFA World Cup. How many nations will we have to manage until we work our way to the top? How many dodgy names will we have to pronounce along the way? So hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, and hopefully we're going to have a lot of fun along the way. Okay, hello everyone and welcome to episode 42 of the International Pentagon Challenge. So, we're managing Japan, and we played our first Asian Cup game in the last episode, where we just smashed Palestine 8-0. It was definitely a fun game to manage, but I'd say we're now kind of approaching the most important game of our Asian Cup so far, and of our group. China obviously made the last World Cup, the World Cup we managed England within, and they've gone... Have they won their second game? No. Okay, so they've not played their second game yet. I thought they'd probably beat Palestine, but they're still top of the group. I've only just noticed this. What are the rules? Because we obviously won 8-0, so we have a goal difference of 8, whilst China have only got a goal difference of 2. Results between teams is more important in the Asian Cup than goal difference. I had no idea about that. And it's only minimum of 2 goalkeepers in the squad, and I've got 3 in as force of habit. Okay, note to self, check rules of tournaments from now on. But yeah, so without further ado, we're not going to overcomplicate things. We're going to start with the exact same starting lineup that beat Palestine 8-0. And yeah, let's hope we can get another 3 points on the board. Now, just before we do jump in, I know there were laggy parts within the last video. This is something I've been discussing for a while now. I don't know what it is about FM18, but it just does not get along well with OBS this year. I don't know why. I've tried recording FM17, like even with my graphic mods, and that works fine. And my computer is more than powerful enough to both record and play Football Manager. I don't get the stutters while recording. I discover it later on after I watch the recorded material, so I'm not sure if it's an OBS thing. I have kind of tweaked OBS settings for this video. Whether or not you'll be able to notice it, I'm not entirely sure, but I am trying to find a good balance that for some strange reason suits FM18, which wants to be different to everything else I record using OBS. So hopefully we won't get any weird random stuttering this game. So China as expected. Now bear in mind we beat China 3-1 in a friendly a few months ago. Same tactical approach from us, and really same tactical approach from them. Scouting wise, we know that Shenzhou out on the right hand side is where most of their assists and firepower comes from. We know Zhao Jun on the right hand side is a much weaker fullback than Yang Ning, so we're probably going to look to try and get Asano on the ball quite a lot down there, but we don't know specific attribute information about the players, which, you know, would probably help us in terms of decision making. We know they're pretty fast up front, so we'll probably have to adjust our defensive line to suit that, even though the fact that we're playing 3 centre-backs should bode pretty well against their 2 pacey strikers up front. And they tend to start off really well, scoring most of their goals in the first 15 minutes, and they're pretty good from an aerial perspective as well. The type of football we play with Japan, we look to keep the ball on the floor quite a lot, so we should be okay within that regards. We won't be playing too much into their hands, but we'll make some tweaks to try and kind of attack more down the right-hand side and defend better against the 2 fast guys up front. Okay, so we know that they're good, strong starters, so for that reason, I'll just kick things off with a cheeky retained possession. I also want to start off balanced rather than fairly wide against a 4-4-2. We'll look to get stuck in a bit as well, because they're a pretty physical side, are China, and rather than look to exploit the middle, which to be fair, you know, could bode well given the fact that they're playing a 4-4-2. In fact, we'll leave it on exploit the middle for now, and then as the game progresses, if we need to kind of get more expressive down our left-hand side to abuse their right-hand side, that'll probably naturally come, because with wing backs we're going to be attacking down the sides anyways, and we naturally probably are going to end up attacking more down that side because of the weaker player on that side. Other than that though, the one more thing I want to do is drop our defensive line slightly, and yeah, let's kick off. Here we go then, a bit of a derby without a shadow of a doubt. Nice and early on in the is it 2026 Asian Cup? I mean, it says a lot really when I don't even know which Asian Cup we're at. But here we go. So 4-4-2's normally pretty narrow, should really bode well for us in a sense that because we've got that extra player centrally, we should be able to hold on to the ball a little bit more. The extra centre back with the overlapping wing back should give us that extra triangle to help kind of retain ball possession, building out from the back, which should be good up against a 4-4-2 and good up against two pacey strikers who are going to be looking to pressure from the front. Yeah, we just really need to be careful on the counter-attack, because that is really where a big physical team... What a goal! What a strike from a cheetah. But yeah, we're a big physical team with pace up front like China. That's how they look to play, you know, on the counter-attack, using the big men up front. But nice and early on, not even 3 minutes yet, and we've taken the lead. And we were talking about China, based on our scouting reports, based on their previous results, kind of being quick out the block, you know, scoring early goals within the first 15 minutes of games. It's actually us this time around who's managed to get the first goal, which is nice. So far, we are starting to slowly see China get a few more highlights. Yang Zhen, good run from him down the left-hand side, but it's a poor cross. Furuyama plays the ball forward towards Takasaki, I think he's called. It's pretty bad when I forget the names of my players. But yeah, here we go. Wing back overlaps. We've got a 1-2 situation down the right wing. Whip the ball into the box by the new Leicester signing, of course. He's immediately my new favourite player now because he's a Leicester signing. He apparently used to play for Leeds as well in the Premier League and Championship before getting a transfer to CSK Moscow. So, yeah. Interesting little career he's had. So, Yin Li to Yang Ning. There's a lot of Yangs in this Chinese team. Furuyama. Oh, what a ball that is from Furuyama. And surely now, if we can just play it to Kawano, he should have really at least hit the target from there. That's the thing, you see. Kawano got 3 assists in the last game against Palestine, but on paper, he isn't as good a player as Seki. Whilst, on the other hand, Seki came on straight off the bench and grabbed, I think it was 2 goals. So, at the moment, it's nice to have kind of competition for that second place up front alongside Takasaki between Kawano and Seki. Furuyama to Takasaki. We need a shot on goal, and it goes over the bar. But so far, guys, it has been all Japan. Yes, they've had a shot, but it's not even been a shot on target. Not really felt the need to really change much because of how dominant we've been. It just kind of feels like if we can find a second goal, which I'm sure we will do just before half time, it'll give us a bit of breathing space and probably kind of just, you know, let the Chinese heads drop a little bit. As we approach half time, we're on to another highlight. Here's the physio running on without a bag. Like, that highlight was so weird. It just started off with this guy sitting down on the edge of the box. Oh, he's picked up a knock, has he? Right, okay, yeah. Yeah, I'm glad the game finally noticed that he picked up a knock. It took its time, to say the least. I thought he was just, you know, sat on the ground having a rest. Has the game glitched out? Looking at the bright side, this means that he can't play it to the unmarkable guy on the edge of the box, because FM18 is nice like that. But I don't really understand why I have to watch him walk off the pitch. I've just seen the physio walk straight through him. That must have been painful. Can we get that second goal? Takasaki on a bit of a run here, in search of a striker in the box, and Furuyama has been a little bit wasteful with them long shots. Could come off in the second half if he keeps it up. Chao Zichin is potentially someone we might look to exploit in the second half. Opposition instruction-wise, try and go in hard on him, force them into making a substitution. And the second I say that, Han Fyong Il who I prefer to call Han Fyong II, gets injured for us. So that's definitely thrown a spanner in the works. It looks like pulled knee ligaments, which isn't ideal for us at all. So I'm going to calmly tell the lads I'm not happy with what I've seen. Han Fyong Il is really going to have to come off. Is it Kawano who's going to come on? I think it is going to have to be Kawano who comes on. Now, normally it's Sekin who's our main kind of right wing back, but like I said, he's not actually ended up making the squad because he got injured prior to the Asian Cup, and I think Yukutomo will come on for Weki as well, who's on 72%. So that's not really great from our perspective. I think the only other substitution I have in mind is probably Seki to come on. The issue is, as long as the game stays like this, and with China playing the way that they do, we really, really, really need to kind of find that second goal to kill things off. So Asano down the left-hand side finds Uchida. Can we play it to the right back? Oh, that's a lovely turn from Takasaki. Asano now with a chance to cross the ball, but just wasn't quite fast enough there. Granted, it weren't his fault. I think there was just a little bit too much weight behind that pass, I think. Our possession, meanwhile, is dropping to a 52%. Looks like the Chinese have maybe increased their width a little bit, and I'm going to try and match that just after this highlight. We need to be able to stop the ball into the box. Otherwise, that happens. And it's the player we said would be going in hard on. That is disappointing, that. That really is disappointing. Let's go a little bit more expressive. That's really disappointing. The manner, like, it's their first shot, you know what I mean? Yeah. Furuyama's not had a great game. But it's either got to be Kawano or Furuyama. And for me, Kawano's not had a good game either. This is a tough one, this one. I am going to actually sub on Seki. We need a bit of magic up front, I feel. We've had most of the chances. Let's go into opposition instructions and try and get revenge. And it was disappointing as well that it was a cross from the right-hand side, unsurprisingly, that got them that goal. Asano to Furuyama, who finds Nagata. Asano once again. It's a bit of a poor cross, to be honest, and straight into the hands of the goalkeeper. I mean, ideally, we should really beat Uzbekistan, so a win against the Chinese here would probably kind of almost guarantee us top in our group, because if it ends up obviously not coming down to goal difference, but coming down to us versus them, if we beat them and then we slip up against Uzbekistan, we'll still finish top of the group. Kawano's going to head the ball down to Takasaki, who can now look to break away. Needs to pull it back to one of the midfielders. He does actually find Asano, who, it was a bit of a kind of drilled cross from Asano. Takasaki shoots. Oh my god, how's he not scored there? It was a lovely header down from Seki, who was newly subbed on, and then it was just shot straight at the goalkeeper from right in front of him. But again, so far, other than that header, I don't think China have really troubled our back five. Kawano to Nagata, finds Seki, turns and shoots, and he's put it over the bar, like a lot of the chances we had in the first half. And when you're a manager in this kind of situation, it's kind of like, well, what do we do now? You know what I mean? What is there we can do? Let's increase our width a little more, change our passing directness to be more mixed, see if that perhaps helps us stretch the Chinese midfield, which is kind of lacking that extra person as well, and we know isn't necessarily the best in the wide areas. Furuyama to Nagata. Can we switch? It's not the best switch, but he does it in the end. And he at least wins a corner, which is not really ideal. So that's a poor ball, really, from Nagata, kind of bounced back off the Chinese player. Shenzhou's going to pick it up. Oh, for God's sake. Oh my god. Oh my god. Yep. Well, we can't really sit here and say we didn't know that was coming. I think it was the manner in which we gave the ball, or let the winger kind of take the ball past our left wing back. Am I to blame because I'm still playing Asano, who's kind of a striker by trade down that side, knowing that Shenzhou was their kind of main guy with the assists? Yeah, I didn't really take that into account, and both goals have actually come down that side. There he is again, and well, we win the ball back, but we've had chances. Difference is, one team can hit the target and put the ball in the back of the goal, and unfortunately at the moment we can't. Yeah, so we're losing to China. We've not exactly got the biggest centre-backs, but he's a centre-back and I assume he can jump, so yeah, that's going to happen. And I don't really think there's more we can do. I mentioned they were very big. I mentioned they were very physical. They've looked good aerially. We've tried to keep the ball on the ground. We've created chances. But we've not really been able to cope with Shenzhou. And, you know, we did highlight him. That's offside. But with 5 minutes to go, it looks dry. It really does, unless we can salvage something here. Let's hit the back of the net, but Takasaki's offside. We're not creating anything. And we've lost to China. So that just happened. Yeah. I don't know what to say. Really. They just crossed twice. And scored. Where does that leave us? Well, China basically guaranteed finishing top of the group now, haven't they? Because, well, basically, even if they lose their next game, it doesn't come down to goal difference. It comes down to whether they beat us or not, and they did. So we're going to be finishing second in our group, provided that we can beat Uzbekistan in the next episode, and that will more than likely mean we're going to have to end up facing one of the big boys that actually finishes first in their own group, which is probably going to be someone like a Saudi Arabia or Iran or someone like that. And yeah, it's disappointing, but we need to kick on and try and just put it behind us, I think. If you enjoy the video, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. Disappointing, but what can you do? Thanks for watching.